Our conference theme this year is servant leadership. Your whole life has been in service to our people and other people. Please talk about the Cherokee way of helping one another in our communities.
The most important factors is the early teachings of the Creator to all people. But unfortunately, not all people honored the early teachings. They become indifferent to those teachings, and they created their own way of worshiping. For that reason, the good God turned his face away from those people. That's why he had to send his son to try to complete his teachings and continue the Father's work through the Son. But my ancestors and their ancestors have related to us by word of mouth that our ancestors honored the first teachings of God. They kept it. They practiced it. To this day, we still have the original prayers given to all people by God. He did not turn his face away from our ancestors. For that reason, there seemed to be a separate culture from other cultures. The Cherokee, the Kituwa Society, is a sacred organization. It's beginning to look like that there is something missing, that we can fulfill that missing part if the majority of the people are willing to accept it and do what we're supposed to do. And those special things is what God gave to each one of us when we were born. He told all people that I will give love and spirit to all who comes into this world, which means that we have to honor love and spirit that's always been in our bodies. We become one, mind, body, and soul, with love and spirit, with no interference from anything. When we do, we share that love and spirit with all mankind, including the ones that's gone before us, including the ones that are living today, including the ones that's going on their way to be born into this world. This is the most comprehensive piece of spiritual work that you can do. When you do, you are connected. You are as close to the Creator as you can get. In fact, we say we become one. We stand as one with the Creator. This is what's missing in this world. Our Cherokee people have a word, adagesti, which means love and care for one another, honor one another, think of everybody as a precious creation of God. This is what we don't have today. That's the reason why we're experiencing difficulties. These are the very, very important things. Even the children need to know, because they are the ones of tomorrow. When we speak of love and spirit, the Creator taught all people that there were 7 heavens. And the ones that lived by love and spirit most of the time, as a reward after death, they get to go to the 7th highest heaven, the eternal level. And people who didn't do so good on this earth receive as a reward to one of the dimensions below the highest heaven. They say they relive in that dimension, and if they do good, they can go on up. And our people used to say, there's no hell. People don't go to hell. It's just a changeover from this life to one of those dimensions. And that is an ancient concept, the teachings of God. I understand that the people of different races remember that story. As I talked to some people that read my book, that come to see me, they remembered their ancestors talking about that. These teachings that represents the original ancient can be used to help people find a peace of mind, a good way of life. There were 7 dimensions mentioned. The Cherokee culture is based on 7 levels. Those 7 levels, they represent 7 good angels, 7 medicine men that's supposed to be pure, and the 7 clans. The clan system is an important thing. They say if we don't honor the clan system, the way we dishonor that is to interbreed within the clan system. That interbreeding takes away certain things that's in our body. It leaves a gap, it leaves an opening where disease can enter into our system. Those things that are missing because of the interbreeding of our people, not just Indians, but all people. We say that the pure blood and the full blood people have, let's say, old type blood. It's hard for this virus to enter into their body. The immune system is pretty strong in the pure blood. and are pure full blood. And they say whenever we have a person afflicted by these various diseases, that there is help. The Creator created certain plants. One of those plants that we use to upgrade the immune system is called broomweed. My uncle related to me the story of the whooping cough in 1918, when a lot of people were afflicted. He remembered his grandmother making tea out of broomweed whenever the children had bad cold. And if it helped people get by and not die from whooping cough, in my own thinking, I thought, and also my spiritual reading, gave me an affirmative report that broomweed will help people with this virus.
Wow.
There are many other plants like that, but the use of the plants, again, we are asked to have as much purity, honesty, and be one with love and spirit when we get these things from the earth. The earth, the soil, a lot of people don't know this. That's one of the most precious gifts. If it wasn't for the soil, the broomweed wouldn't grow. Nothing wouldn't grow. Soil is very sacred. That's why our ancestors used to go to a dry lake and they would bathe in that dry sun where the water used to be in the soil for their purification ritual. There are many, many other methods of using the plants. One other plant that I remember, and I tell a story about a woman who is afflicted by cancer. And medical people gave up on her. Then I prescribed what we call milkweed. I think it's known as Queen's tea. And recently the pharmaceutical people found out about it. Now you can order it from their company. And she took that tea and went back to the same doctor that gave up on her. She didn't have cancer. Those stories are in the book that I have. Our ancient Cherokees, not very many left. We're trying to keep our tradition alive. We need to know the first teachings of God to all people. Our tradition belongs to all people. Our heritage. For the last 8 years, we've had a very glorious record in Cherokee Nation, because I think people are beginning to practice the ancient belief in God. And if they continue, we will do a lot more for the Cherokee Nation. I think that may be it. You got any other questions?
Well, you reminded me of something when you talked about clans. People ask me about clans a lot. Can people be adopted into a clan?
Well, I don't know if it's the validity of that practice,
Okay.
but they can.
Okay.
I don't know if it will be effective.
Yeah.
Because they have already lost their clan, whatever it might have been. Back in the ancient times, there was only 4 clans. The brown clan, the blue clan, the yellow clan, and the black clan. And as time went on, they divided into various groups. The validity of the clan system is really questionable now.
Okay.
But if they can go back, if they claim the black clan, it might help them.
Okay.
Or if they say they're blue clan, or brown, or yellow, those are the original clan system.
Okay.
I suppose that they can be adopted, but again, I say I don't understand how strong and how true that adoption will be as a beneficial factor.
Okay. Okay. How can we, and you've already really talked about all of this, but overcoming negativity in our organizations. You know how when there's an organization, there's always ego and, one person that might want to do everything and, and not let others help, or they're not going to do it right. And how do you overcome those things so people work good together?
You've got to live and stand as one, regardless of what kind of ego people have, whether it's overbearing or whether it's just a normal. Ego can be very dangerous. That ego creates a conflict. It could be the most severe ego system is racism. And that will develop into war. The ego is what caused people to make weapons to destroy one another. The ego wants to rule and conquer and enslave their fellow man.
Okay. I've had a lot of people ask me how they can practice our spirituality from where they live if they don't live here. What are some of the things maybe they can do?
It really doesn't make any difference where you live. If you practice the ancient concept of spirituality, I can sit here and send that energy through love and spirit to anyone, to any parts of the world. In fact, I do this all the time. Many people that call me, I've never seen. And I'll do my best, and I have to be good at it with no ego conflict, with no racism, and God will help me sense that. Doesn't make any difference. They don't have to be in church. They don't have to be at the ceremonial ground. Customary, it's okay to visit these places. But I often wonder when people are afflicted, even while they're in church, that means they're not practicing love. They don't understand the spirit that God gave them. They need to go there and hold hands and honor one another and respect one another and love one another. Adagesti. Learn that word. It can't really be explained, it can't really be interpreted the way it really means in our language. That language happens to be something original. That word adagesti. Every good word of respect for the human race. To care for one another. To get rid of that ego. To come clean. Stand as one with your fellow man. And share love and spirit to all people. That's what it means to say adagesti.
Oh, wow. Widow Crosslin.